Hey, it's Cassandra again, and welcome to another episode of this series. This time we're going to talk about judging from second. I've said that's kind of dangerous. Also, I had a match where I lost to a stun block and then a big treasure card, so it was my last training point. I went out and trained stun block. So here's the match. It is against a fire, and I am second again. I had previously said that I usually discard the feint because most people will put a tower in front of them if they're going first, and if you knock off the tower they'll put another one on top of it, so it's really hard to judge from second, but there's sometimes you can get away from it. In this case, the person I am facing is using feint. So there are different types of feints. In the past, it was hard to find these treasure cards. You had to make the feint yourself by crafting. But now we can see that there is the learned feint that you can get from Mortis, the Death Tree. There's a treasure card feint that is a 20% tail. There is a pet feint, and that you can tell if you see their pet casting the spell. And there's also feint from the gear, which could be at 75%. So you see there it's 70% and 30%. Now this is very important in terms of if you employ a technique called counter feinting. That is when you cast the same feint against your opponent so that when they hit, they do not get the 70%, they get the 30%. However, if you misjudge and you cast your feint and it's a different type of feint, then you're actually giving them an extra 20% or 30% to their attack. That's not what you want to do. So it's very important to make sure you know which type of feint they are casting. It can be kind of hard because the pet feint and the match can go on and you're not really sure what they're doing. So it can be hard to not see those numbers, but that's a general rule of thumb. If you have a lot of feints in your deck and you're suddenly getting feinted a lot, I did notice that there are people at this level who are using feint. They generally are using treasure card feints, so you'll see that it's 20%. Why they do this, I guess they want like extra boost to their treasure card hit, and that's what feint can do, and generally from first, and they can really use their advantage with feint. You'll see in a while that I'm going to discard my feint. So I am definitely using stuff that you would use from second, which is like a Minotaur. Minotaur is a great spell to use from second, and already my opponent is very close to losing. In particular, he doesn't have great healing capacity, and when you do a deck, you really want to load the deck with a lot of heals. This is sort of the major problem for lower levels who don't have an in-house heal, is that they have to rely on that pixie. I did not have time to get the infection, but the next round I've got it, so you really want to get that healing down. So I still have that gargantuan pet there. You can see the gargantuan card finally showed up after this is a fourth match. Still not convinced that it's a good talent to have, because I am not reshuffling to be able to make cards with gargantuan. And in this match it actually turns out I get no use out of it. And even with the Pierce Blades, not really going to get much use out of it. So it really depends on how you play. If you have really small deck, maybe it's useful. So here, since I'm winning and I'm second, I really need to get my attack cards out. From second, you're generally going to be more defensive. You're going to shield. You're going to make sure you have heals. But I am going to be discarding my heals. I'm going to be discarding the shields because I need to press my advantage. I cast Demander simply because, well, maybe he'll attack. I don't know. It's the best thing I can do at this time. I have really good pips because I've been concentrating on getting rid of those white pips. Okay, so he probably has learned Feint. It just looks like that might be a regular Feint because it's another 70-30. And now I'm going to calculate this and go for it, because even if he casts a tower, I will probably win. And he doesn't cast a tower. I go for this almost full pit judge. It's going to hit over 2,000, and he was only around 783. So even if he had cast a tower, I would have won. It turns out he is a little bit higher than me. He is a private. He does not have the best gear, and it wasn't like a match that he pretty much had just started that day. So but thanks for the match, and I still have a ways to go before captain. I just want to show you this chart that you can also do for yourself. It's based on Grandmaster questing gear, but you can change the base for your pet and for, you know, whatever is your damage on commander gear, per se. So next time it's going to be another match where I'm going second. Big surprise. Also, I have a playlist here, so you can get it. Be sure to like and sub to Wizard101 at Giant Hunters. You can find them on Twitter. Give me feedback on what you want to see. Bye.